Hi everyone, I'm Cal Spriggs. In my previous videos, I showed how I got elements of my Dark Elf army ready for Warhammer the Old World. Today I'm going to be working on my Ganeth executioners and trying to get them ready as well. Now the Ganeth executioners I have are quite old. All of them are pewter models. I've collected them basically for, at this point, close to 20 years. And I wanted to make sure that they were based like the rest of the models in my army. I also didn't want to cut off the little metal tabs because, if you don't know, there's a lot of counterfeit versions of the old Warhammer pewter models at this point. So I grabbed some slotted 25mm bases and started putting together planks, and I used stirrer sticks for this, and you'll see in some of my other videos that I used similar technique for some of the larger bases. I was doing this because I was able to 3D print smaller bases, but I didn't at the time know how to do a slot in those when I 3D printed them. I figured it out later, but for now this is what I did. You can see I hit them with some Agrax Earthshade to kind of tone down the pale tone, and once I had all of them based, which it was a quite lengthy process, I went ahead and started touching up these guys. Now, I'd already painted the silver on these guys, I want to say 10 years ago almost at this point. And so I went through and touching up the details, added some gold highlights to the armor. These guys are the elite executioner fellows of the Dark Elves, so I wanted to show that these guys are selected for their skill and everything. So they got a little bit of bling. I gave them some gold trim in their armor. Different areas I hit with highlights of some gold. This is a more muted gold. I like how it looks. It's not like super vibrant. But again, I did want these guys different from most of the standard Dark Elves. So again, I'm going with the lighter colors in general. So I have the bright red for their clothing, for their hair that comes out. I went with kind of a pale blonde. This is actually a bone white, so it gives them almost a sort of Grim Reaper sort of look. I really like that. While it's still bright, it's not a necessarily happy bright color. Which fits them, right? Because they're supposed to go up and, just decapitate people. Once I had this done, really I didn't have a ton more to do. I went through and I picked out some little details here and there on them, but mostly it was pretty well done for my purposes anyway. The hardest part was keeping track of all of the little areas on each model. I'd already undercoated the hair on some of these guys with a pale white, and I just kind of went through and made sure I had the appropriate color on all of them so they kind of matched and were a bit uniform. Most of my army, I don't care too much if it's 100% uniform. I like to add little details here and there, but for these guys, I figure they're all sort of these faceless executioners that emerge out of the shadows and do what their lord or lady has told them to do, and then go back from wherever they are lurking, You can see this guy and a couple others are actually conversions that I've done. I had some pewter Lord of the Rings models that were pretty easily adapted to this. You'll see I have an odd number of my Ganeth executioners. So once I had the details done, I wanted to paint the banners. I did a flaming skull with this guy, and I felt like I could do a bit more, so I went in with that bright neon green paint and gave him glowing green eyes, and also made the flames on top of the skull glowing green. Not super happy, super pleased with how the skull came out, but given the scale, it looks well enough, especially for tabletop. Could be better, but could be worse, I suppose. as far as freehanding goes, I'm relatively happy with it. For the other banner, since I'd already done it black, I kind of like the idea of them having a black banner. I went with some more of that bone white for drawing some runes and stuff on here. I started with sort of a sword shape, because after all, they're executioners, and they should probably have the banner of Ganeth, right? The banner that is their namesake, so to speak. So I went with a sort of chopping blade, very similar to the blades they carry, and then added to that just kind of freehanding some lines and stuff to make it more stylized. And yeah, overall I'm pretty happy with how this one turned out. It's relatively simple, but I think it overall just kind of doesn't need to be, for stuff like this, it doesn't need to be super complicated, right? I've seen some freehands of just absolutely gorgeous work, but for playing a game on the tabletop, it can be simple. You can see me adding some extra lines because I'm concerned it wasn't good enough, but here they are. All in all, I have, as I said, an odd number. I've got 18 of these guys. I need to either convert up a few more models or find a couple on eBay or something to complete the 2 units of 10, but there they are. Thank you all for watching. Hope the video inspires you to get painting on your own Warhammer the Old World models. I'd love to hear any comments on how I did or any suggestions for improvement. Thank you for watching.